Hey everyone, it's Vi. We're checking out Blocky Dungeon. This is the 0.5.0 version. This is a game that we had played in the past, but it was kind of the, I believe, the first demo that was put out a while ago now, so I believe the developers kind of tweaked and added a lot of things, that sort of thing. So it should be interesting to see what's different. From what I understand, the developer has expressed some concern about not knowing what to do next for where to work on the game. So we're gonna give this a shot and see if we can maybe give some feedback that may be helpful. If we are lucky, I'm gonna go ahead and skip reading the game page this time, jump right into the game and see kind of what the game tells me on its own. So I have not seen past the screen, with the exception that I did go into the settings real quick. And I also, another thing I noticed before I started recording the video, the game does steal your mouse. It doesn't let you move it around and use it in the game, which is a little annoying. I don't think it's very necessary, in particular with the menu here. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't be able to use a mouse for that. Obviously when you're in the game you don't need to see the mouse cursor, but I think you can hide it without actually stealing it and locking it like in the center of the screen, whatever you're doing. Part of the problem with that is when I was trying to do stuff on Windows, it was getting a little difficult. Like I could hit the Windows key and like I tried to use the mouse to change the volume in Windows, and then it was stealing the mouse when I was trying to do that, and it was getting kind of annoying. I had to Alt-Tab to get into OBS, all this stuff, so I'd recommend not grabbing the mouse like that. The other thing is, I went into the, let's see, the settings menu here. It looks like it's a small detail, but there's not really a, I guess much of a pause between moving up and down, so it's easy to move more than one item at a time here in the menu. But yeah, so I went into the settings menu here. So we got music, sound effects, we got graphics quality, which I'm gonna try out high. I don't know if this even... Oh, it does change something. So the only thing I'm noticing on on the screen itself here, you can see my mouse cursor in the middle of the screen, which I can't move. It just kind of stays stuck there. But the model of the player seems to change ever so slightly when you go up above low. Especially you can see the shoulder pads. But I would suspect that maybe that's an unfinished setting. You got VSync on and off. So another thing I noticed is that the game is running in, well, it runs in windowed mode to start with, and then I hit Alt Enter, so it's in borderless windowed mode, which means, assuming you have like arrow enabled on Windows or whatever, I don't know what. I use Windows 7, I don't know what the deal is with Windows 10, but it kind of has built-in VSync, so having this option doesn't actually do anything for me, given that. So what I would like to see, of course, would be an exclusive full screen mode and an option for that here in the settings, and then you could get the you could effectively turn off VSync in that mode and get your, nice responsive input and everything. Another thing is that you can't actually go down to the back button that's in the bottom right from this menu. So I actually got stuck in this menu for a little while. I don't know of any way to actually get down there. Again, I can't use the mouse to do it. I can't press left or right to do it, or up or down. And the escape key doesn't bring me back, which is kind of what I expect also. But what I did figure out is that the backspace key actually works here. So it's really unexpected, but I mean, I guess it works. I don't know. I can't really think of any games that use backspace for that functionality. I would suggest using the escape key. That being said, we got controls here. I'm not sure if it's going to be something I'd rather use the gamepad for. I think I'm just going to stick with the keyboard for now. Again, I have to like hit the backspace key to even exit this menu. It's a little weird. It's got Delve Solo and Delve together, which suggests two-player mode. Again, I'm noticing that sometimes it's moving up or down 2 items when I only mean to do 1. I don't know what the whatever multiplayer would entail, but of course I'm only one person, so I'm gonna go ahead and do solo. Again, I can see my mouse. Classic or endless. I guess we'll do classic. New journey, resume journey. Go ahead and do new. Oh crap, I think my curse is actually just gonna stay on this. Oh crap, gonna stay on the screen. So that was pretty loud. Oh shoot. Oh, is it? Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. We got the control split between the arrow keys and the WSD now. That's interesting. Right, so I don't actually really know how the game works at this point. Apparently, the skeletons can move on their own. So the sound effects are super loud, especially compared to the music. I hope it's not too awful in the in the recording here. I don't know. All right, is there a pause button? What does spacebar do? What does enter do? What does escape do? Okay, escape is pause. That's good. And you can also look at the screen while it's paused. So that almost that makes me wonder. Like, is that something you want to leave intentional to be able to pause and think about the game? Because it doesn't seem to otherwise give you. I mean, it's sort of everything keeps happening whether or not you're making decisions. But it does appear that you can kind of pause, and I don't know if that counts as being exploitable or if that's something that you actually want the player to be able to do. In my case, I don't know how to play the game yet, so even though I played the earlier version and I have, you know, some vague ideas about how the game functions, I don't really know how this version works. So on the left we have HP, AP, which I assume is action points, 12 out of 12. Level 1, 0 money, 2 building things, which I assume is for building upon the empty spaces. Previously we had more items. I don't know if you can still knock down walls and that kind of thing, but we'll find out. 3 keys. I guess we just start with. We got the score and dungeon score. Objectives on the bottom right, so I would not have seen this if I hadn't like paused and started like kind of looking through everything here. So this is defeat enemies 1 out of 8 and clear lines 0 out of 12. So this is the kind of thing, if that's my whole objective for the game, the win condition, you know, it would make sense to kind of hit the player in the face with that rather than kind of tuck it into the UI here where it's not something I'm going to be looking at while all the action is going on. Shows the next pieces. Right, so of course there's no tutorial or anything yet, which perfectly understandable. But again, I'm just gonna be it does a nice little ready go thing after you unpause, so that's nice. So it seems there was some consideration for the player just pausing the game whenever they want. Alright, so the way that the openings interact is important here. So it looks like whatever you've already placed isn't going to change in terms of the walls. So you do have to line up openings with openings in order to kind of progress here. Alright, so I have to look all the way over to the left to see my AP, which is pretty annoying. Like if I'm looking at what I'm doing on the screen here, I can't see it at all. It's too far over to the left, my peripheral. I don't think this is very useful because there's no openings. Now, can I? Okay, so you can do this. So I'm assuming that it's kind of a universal thing. But again, I can't see the AP unless I... look over there, which also means, is that also, okay, so attacks take the AP. Oh gosh, yeah, so it's a bit hard to, just pause, okay, escape is pause. it's a bit hard to really think about anything when I'm kind of doing the two actions at once here. So I think before the previous version, you I believe like once you started moving around, it kind of froze the Tetris parts. I don't know, is that still the case? I'm not even sure anymore. But it definitely seems like if I want to stop and like look at everything, and usually with this kind of game, obviously this is much more simple than other games in terms of just dungeon crawling purely. But usually you want to kind of look at everything and kind of plan a route, because you have AP and stuff like that. These numbers you have to manage, you have to kind of think about it. But as soon as you stop, then you're already dealing with the next pieces of the dungeon falling down. So it's obviously that's kind of part of the idea of the game, is to have that tension, but I wonder if it's like maybe a little too much in some way. Yeah, because you can't really think about two things at once. What I think I would like is to have some more centralized HUD elements of some of these numbers. I know it's hard to imagine how to cram all that in visually, but even just like one thing at a time, like if I move, maybe show the AP points above my head. And then like if I'm in combat, you could show the HP above my head, that kind of thing. What am I even doing? Okay, apparently I was in combat. And also, when do the enemies move? Is it when you place a... Okay, it's whenever you place a piece, so that's interesting. Oops, I used that accidentally, so that can be a problem. Oh, they also move when you move, okay. So yeah, I wasted one of my what seems to be rather valuable items here. How is this even gonna work? This isn't useful. There appears to be... Oh, those are just torches. So it's gonna... I thought for a moment there might be fire. So I don't know what I'm doing. What Right, so I lose because of the pieces at the top I've filled in, and I couldn't find the way to advance. Alright, so again, there were these objectives at the bottom right, which I wasn't thinking about because I was kind of distracted by everything else, but I guess I have to complete those to get the exit. One thing I noticed is that when it shows a screen that has two options, one on the left and one on the right, if I press right, it seems to highlight the left one, and vice versa. That's a little strange. Alright, so we know a little more than we did last time. Things fall instantly, which is a little bit... Okay, so the up key is to rotate. So yeah, that makes sense. In Tetris, usually like up is insta-fall, and down would be rotate, that kind of thing, but in that case you actually have a button to rotate, which you don't have here, so that makes sense. Just something to get used to. So yeah, it does pause the Tetris element while you're doing stuff. But yeah, it's hard not to feel like I'm just doing random things, like I'm just wasting AP right here, going back and forth and changing my mind. And then I guess naturally you don't want to like die from the Tetris stuff too quickly. Okay, so I forget that you can actually make lines, which I just screwed up inadvertently. So yeah, I forget you can make lines. I think part of that being the fact that these pieces are not, most of them are not actual Tetris pieces and such, that They probably fit together somewhat more difficult. What's the word? They probably don't fit together as readily as normal Tetris pieces do, because they're a little more complex, so it's probably significantly harder to create lines. So this isn't gonna work over there. I'm kind of curious about... Oh, I couldn't rotate that piece. Okay, that's interesting. So this is obviously, yeah, I'm just dying from the Tetris here. And hit retry. Sorry, I wish I could get the mouse cursor out of the middle of the screen. The controls are going to take some getting used to not kind of fumble once in a while and just use up these items. I can certainly appreciate that the items are kind of used automatically rather than having a button assigned to them. It definitely simplifies things, but that just the fact that it's actually just so easy to accidentally use one, it's kind of unfortunate. So we are getting a 4, what do you call that one? The yeller one in Tetris. So we can use that, assuming I move out of the way here. Go ahead and... Actually, we could just use this one, I guess. I don't know. Let's put this here and then put this guy over here. So I noticed before it flashed on the line that you're about to delete, which I assume is because the character was on it. But that makes me think, why not just flash it anyways if the character is not on it? It just seems like it makes it more clear that you're about to clear the line. Like in this case, I'm gonna delete this item. So it seems sensible to me to just always highlight the line about to be cleared. But yeah, these pieces are, I don't know, challenging. I'm gonna have to... Can I... Okay, so I'm kind of kill stealing here in some sense. I'll put this guy right there. Alright, so we have to defeat more enemies and, oh, we have to clear 12 lines. That seems even harder. Or may just be because I haven't been playing very well for a while here. Just go ahead and... I don't know if this matters. Alright, we can build on this too. Now, if I'm gonna put this here, and then if I build right here, I'm gonna delete, so I have to... I mean, I wisely stepped out of the way of the line gonna be deleted. That's interesting that you have to kind of consider that. Just putting that here, not really thinking about the openings and the walls. That's another thing that's a bit hard to think about, like actually playing the Tetris while also lining up these holes. It seems like it's just another thing kind of getting in your way. Also seems like it kind of places instantly, like there's not really that little buffer. I guess you do get a little bit of a buffer. It's not exactly like Tetris as I'm used to, but this is like a crate on it. But yeah, there's actually like a bunch of walls, and I don't currently have any items to bust them down, which is not good. Also suggests that, I mean, I can keep clearing lines here, these pieces, but I'm not I'm not really finding a way forward here. Like so. Oh, I didn't even realize it was going to clear for some reason. Alright. So I can hit that, I can get a key. Don't know what to do with this. Oh, that was unexpected. I did not expect that guy to start whacking me. He just got kind of moved into range here. I'm not really moving around much. Go ahead and let that clear. Yeah, I definitely think it would be nicer if it really made it super clear that you're about to clear a line all of the time. I don't know if I just probably could have should have moved that to a place where I could have actually gotten that item. Oh. Okay. But it is a bit nice that it makes it so obvious that you're about to make a mistake just because you're not used to seeing that. I do like that. So maybe you could like not do the super bright flash, just do like a simple highlight or something instead of the super bright flash, so that the super bright one is saved for when you're about to kill yourself. I'm assuming there's probably not going to be a way for me to get this. Well, in theory, I could get this hammer here and then use it to get the other hammer. Oh, that actually cleared it. Okay, see, I'm not thinking about some of these line clears occurring. There's definitely a lot of different kind of layers that are all happening at once here to think about. So I already cleared all the lines I need to. I still need to kill everything. So the good news is that it does seem like if you kind of just focus on clearing lines, you can do that for a long time, which certainly gives you a lot more breathing room. So like when I was just starting, of course, I was just kind of killing myself with the Tetris parts right off the bat. I do have one hammer, so I should be able to get... Oh. Okay, so again, I'm just not thinking about the fact that it's about to clear, because I'm thinking about other things. So here I can get some stuff. Oh, that had to be hit first. Let's go ahead and drop this. Use up my AP. I want to try getting this key. What I don't want to do is delete myself, of course, which this would. Let's wait. I guess so. Whew. So I'm in some sense a little disappointed. It looks like I have 2 hammers now, so maybe I should try to use these more. Let's actually prioritize actually getting this one rather than thinking of the Tetris only. This has useful stuff on it. Probably a good idea to just kind of leave this one. What does the green potion do? I don't know. I gotta use up all these points. Alright, yeah, so once I start... Oh shoot. No, see, I don't want to clear this now. Alright, so this is a problem. I'm gonna pause because there's too much to talk and play all this. Here I have kind of a tricky thing where I can clear the lines, which is kind of what I want to do, but it's gonna get rid of all the items, which I might want to go back and get, right? So the sensible thing might be, you know, just go get the items before you clear it and that kind of thing. But the problem is that I was already like down here in the bottom left. I'm trying to spend my points to go and kill this thing. So the fact that you know, I can only do so many things at once, and there's kind of this this limit of how many action points you have and how long until the Tetris piece falls down and everything. So I can't do everything, and so I have to make some tough decisions about that. It's definitely very restricting. Kind of makes it seem like maybe it's pretty hard to plan things ahead too much, because yeah, like given the restrictions on the action points and everything, like I can go down here and I can try to kill this guy, but anything else that I wanted to do after that or whatever is probably not going to still be there by the time I'm done, that kind of thing. There's a certain amount of randomness with the Tetris pieces and stuff that kind of mixes that all up, so it's interesting how that that all unfolds. Now I'm thinking now that I might have just, you know, been better off putting that piece over on the right and just letting the lines clear and just forgetting about the items, which I don't think I can do anymore because I let it go too far on the left, but for now, we might get another piece that could fit down there. I guess maybe not though. I don't really want to take a chance on that because I'm not really looking at these numbers. How much HP do I even have? I have 9. Like, this is the first time I've looked at my HP since I started this round. Oh, that actually worked out perfectly. See, I didn't even think about that, and it just kind of fell into place for me. So yeah, there's a lot to think about all at once. All right, out of stuff. That's at least not going to kill me placing it here. That's good. I'm going to get this coin. I still have to defeat enemies. Unfortunately, clearing them in the lines doesn't count as defeating them, which is a little disappointing in my mind. I think it would just kind of feel nice if you could defeat them that way, but I guess I can imagine it might just turn out that... Let's put this here. Oh, crap. Oh, see, I don't like that. I don't like that, that I can not know it's about to clear and then step on it like that. What was I gonna say? Oh, I guess if you could defeat enemies by clearing the lines, then you could probably just focus like almost entirely on the Tetris and just kind of win everything that way. That's probably true. So even though it's kind of disappointing, it's probably necessary. I'm gonna go ahead and see. I don't like the idea of having to build and then knock down a wall, so I shouldn't have done that. This is like a game of bad decisions. I think my AP points went up, which I assume is because I'm level 2 now. I don't know when that happened. Maybe you can make it... Oh, speed up. That's not good. No. Maybe you can make it more obvious that there's like a level up occurring. 7, and then there's upwards arrows, which I guess is experience or something. What do I do with this guy? Just drop him around here or something. Okay, I'm gonna position... Oh, that's actually bad, isn't it? Oh, that already placed! I thought I could still move to the left. That placed sooner than I expected it to. Shoot. Alright, this will clear. Go ahead and get stuff I'm gonna need. Let's knock this down. We only have 1 hammer left. Let's put you in here. Do some of this. Over here, I suppose. Trying to keep myself alive in terms of the Tetris action here. There's another enemy. It's speeding up alright. So I'm kind of thankful that I haven't had to really worry about... Oh, I tried to rotate it and it didn't rotate. That was lame. I wanted it to go on the left here. I guess something it got stuck on something or whatever. It didn't rotate as I would have expected it to. So that's too bad. I should be able to clear these, and there's going to be a ugly floating one unless I do this. This is still pretty ugly looking. Okay, let's clear some of this stuff. Oh gosh, what the heck? It's getting confusing. Alright, oh, 7 out of 8. No. Oh my gosh. Alright, I cleared both objectives, so I'm assuming I have to wait for... Oh, I think that's the exit? No, I don't have the thing to get to it. Oh my gosh. This is evil. That's evil. Oh no. Oh, okay, so it gave me a new one because I killed this one, but... can I get it? Okay, I think I can get it. Place? Okay. There was a moment where I think it didn't... it didn't quite place yet. So this is a small thing, but I think it's significant. So when the piece reaches its resting point, and then it waits like another turn kind of until it actually becomes placed. But there's no feedback for when it actually becomes placed. So in this particular case, it was a little weird because I needed to like run to that exit as fast as possible. That transition between when I could and couldn't move onto the newly placed piece, slightly awkward because, like I said, there's no feedback. So I think there should be maybe do like a little wiggle or something, like the ground shaking, but it's just for the piece, like something really subtle, you know, just kind of wiggle the whole piece ever so slightly, to kind of signify it kind of colliding with the rest of the dungeon, that kind of thing. Another thing that's obvious is just a little sound for it placing. I don't think there's a sound for it placing, is there? I don't think so. But at least we got past the first level here. Delve deeper. So that's pretty tough, I would say. I mean, there's obviously a lot of room for improvement in my own play. I feel like this is something you could get a lot better at for sure. Like, it's not... It's a lot to throw at you at the very beginning. There's just so many different layers, and there's just a lot to juggle. It's not the kind of game I've played in recent memory, just trying to kind of balance so many different elements at the same time, but it does make it interesting. So I think what would work out well for this, rather than outright changing any big things about the mechanics or anything, I think what would work out well is focusing on a difficulty curve, and maybe even leaving out some elements and introducing them later, so you have you know, like as the player plays, then more layers gradually are kind of applied to the experience, the more things that they have to juggle. So if you start out with stuff that's just simplified a bit, the difficulty overall being toned down, particularly the complexity, because it's not like, you know, the action element of it, or I didn't have any risk of like dying from losing HP or anything in this particular level. Like, I didn't even have to bother thinking about it, so I just had plenty. But the overall complexity was quite a bit, so I think if you really reduce that down at the start, just let the player, you know, give them really small, much smaller bites of the game, and let them get like super good at those elements that you're giving them just to start with. And I think when they get really good at that, then once you throw another thing on top of it, it's going to feel more natural, and they're going to be like, oh, here's a new challenge. You know, I think that would make everything a lot more engaging rather than having so much all at once, because even though it's a game about kind of balancing or juggling or whatever you want to call that, splitting your brain, it's a lot to do right at the start, like the kind of thing where it definitely feels like it would be more fun if you were better at it, but it's that getting better at it that's a bit hard. It's not as I don't know, not as cushy as you might want it to be for your enjoyment. So definitely think you could ease the player into that and give the game a really nice progression. Now, I don't actually know what happens when you go deeper. I assume, I believe the developers talked about new enemies and stuff like that, which is all, I mean, that's cool too, to add that, like, new enemies and stuff for your progression. But even right now, just the level of complexity you start out with at the very beginning, it seems like plenty, you know, like, I think there's a lot of room to stretch this out more and let the player really wrap his head around everything. And looking at it that way, you know, it's hard for me to say, you know, to make kind of judgments about what really works well and what might not. But in general, I just feel like everything is kind of, it's interesting, it's just really easy to mess things up, you know? And I think a lot of that will come down to just getting really good at the game overall. Will probably make a big difference. Wow, I just fumbled the controls entirely. That is not what I wanted to do. I meant to just place it down, so that was dumb. So yeah, we got some spikes that move and don't move. How do you deal with this? I can just never, oops. See, I didn't mean to do that. I assume I could just never pass this because of the shape of this. I'd have to... Okay, I can wait for that piece and... Oh. That was weird. So toggle when the piece dropped, but it's still... Oh, okay. No! Oh my gosh, no. Jeez, I'm hecked. That was unlucky. I'm just trying to figure this out. I almost died. Okay, so this time I tried to rotate it and it didn't seem to. So that was strange. That was strange. Not sure what happened there, because I definitely pressed the up key, and I don't know. I can't go back and watch what I just recorded, but I didn't think it rotated, and then like I just kind of reflexively hit the down key as the other key, and then it placed it when I really wanted to rotate it. So what I wanted to do was rotate that and place it all the way over to the right here. I don't know what happened there, if it just ate my input for some reason, or if it was just me that is perceiving things wrong. But that was unexpected. Maybe it was too close to the top or something? I don't know, maybe there's just some bug in there that at certain points in time doesn't allow the rotation to happen. What are my objectives? Okay, so I didn't even look at the objectives when I started. Again, I think you can make these a lot clearer. Line combos, 0 out of 3. Collect gold, okay. Now gold seems to have been pretty scarce in my experience so far, so that seems like it would take a long time unless there's something I don't know. Or maybe this level just has a lot more gold. That could be the case. And then build tiles, 0 out of 5. Okay, so cool to have different objectives. Line combos, I don't know what that means exactly. I know what a combo is in Tetris, but does that just mean anything that's more than one line would count as one combo? I'm guessing that's what it is. It could also mean that if you just do 3 at once, then that would fulfill the objective, but I don't think that's the case. Let's go ahead and let this one drop right there. I got this giant gap on the right because of... Oh, I need that money. Because of my goof earlier. Alright, let's use up all the AP here, I guess. Let's go ahead and plop this guy over here. I don't have a lot of choice as far as setting up combos right now. I just need to not die. So there's wooden boards. I don't know what those are. Right, this is kind of good actually. Alright, so sometimes it'll kind of eat the inputs, I guess, because of the grid movement here. Okay, that's not gonna kill me. That's good. Alright, that counted as line combo. I didn't consider the fact that I was about to trap myself, but I think this will help. Yes, indeed. It's a bit hard to judge how the walls are gonna end up. That's like, that's another thing. Just like one more thing that's just really hard to consider among everything else that you have to try to wrap your brain around. What are these? I guess they're just... Oh, they're not cosmetic. Okay, that's not fun and pleasant. Okay, so that time I definitely pressed up and it didn't rotate. I don't know if it's because I was against the wall or something. This is gonna kill me. There's a yellow potion on those spikes. Spikes are pretty counterintuitive in my opinion, as I think you could see before. And yeah, the fact that you have to manage them like there's no way for me to get them to swap without placing another piece. It's kind of weird, but I guess it's just another thing to learn rather than something to complain about. There's a little flag on the wall I can see that's kind of different. Okay, so I got 5 total. It's nice to have that little pop-up. Although it's a little hard to catch all those things while you're looking around. Let's go ahead and just clear whatever we can here. Alright, that's good. Oh, that only did 2, but counts anyways. Oh, crap. I meant to press up. I pressed down. This is not good. See, every time I screw up something... Oh my gosh, is that worth like a lot? Oh, crap. Wait. I can get that, right? Nice. I got the objective. Okay, now I have to not die. What else do I need? Line combos and build tiles. So I have 4 hammers currently. Gonna need obviously at least 1 more and try not to die from the Tetris here. I'm gonna try and focus on that for a bit, see if I can. Is that's not gonna. What does that sound? Oh no. What does that sound? Ick. Let's go ahead and do this. We got a nice long piece here that's helpful. Go ahead and build one while I'm thinking about it. Oh shoot. I guess I want to go over there. Alright. I guess that's not what I wanted. I haven't seen any locked doors yet, even though there's keys. I just need to build the tiles. Means I still need to get an item, a hammer somewhere. That's the next thing. Let's walk over here. I should be able to like... I don't like how fast it's going. See, I can build one more to clear the line, but I'm gonna kill myself if I do it. So it's kind of stupid. I still don't know what that sound is. Is it the bat that's making like wing sounds? It's just not animated yet or something? Or it is animated, just kind of doesn't look obviously like wings flapping, I guess. I kind of want to... Oh crap, please don't die yet. This is gonna spike me, I don't care. Okay, I got 4 HP. I thought you'd get HP back from something. I don't have any left. Oh no. Oh my, I can't rotate it. Oh no. Oh my gosh. I think you should be able to rotate that. There's another hammer. Well, that, I can't rotate. Wait, I could for a second. Crap, this is the wrong piece. Wait, that's exactly the piece I need. Don't mind me being dumb. Oh my gosh, what do I do with this? What do I do? See, that's the trouble with having, not tetrominoes, is when you get these massive pieces all of a sudden when you need something smaller. Oh, that's unfortunate. So yeah, that was a case where, I mean, obviously I was kind of in a rough spot, but it was pretty RNG in a sense that you just suddenly get this massive piece. This is a problem that Tetris doesn't really have. It's obviously at RNG in terms of what pieces you get, but they're all, because the size is so manageable for like every piece, you don't really have that problem where you just suddenly get like a massive one that kind of blocks everything and doesn't let you put the other pieces where you need to, that kind of thing. And I'm well aware that the developer did not stick with the original tetromino shapes intentionally, for, I believe it's solely for the fact that he didn't want to face any legal issues or whatever with the Tetris IP. So that's a bit tough, but I wonder if there's some kind of other option. I mean, you can go smaller with like 2 or 1 block sizes. rather than going bigger. Obviously, it's not a very complex shape if you only have two or one block, but you know, that might even be nice in a sense because it's just easier. It just kind of simplifies things a bit, where there's a lot of complexity in the game right now in terms of doing everything at once. You know, just sometimes having a one block piece would just be kind of a nice, you know, like a little break and what you have to deal with, because you can just stick that anywhere and it just kind of helps you out. So that might, you know, that might be something worth thinking about. But yeah, I got pretty close there. Obviously it's a little tough to ensure that all the numbers work out. Definitely a lot of randomness and a lot of skill at the same time. It's kind of weird in that sense. Don't know what else to say. It's pretty punishing. I guess that's a word for it, because there's a lot of opportunities to make mistakes, like a lot. So I think we want that to pop up. It's counterintuitive to step on the spikes when they're up rather than when they're down. Kind of suggested that already, but oh, there's dudes there killing each other. Now this time I need, okay, it's the same objective, so let's not delete myself. I did kind of want that hammer though. Oh boy, okay. Oh crap. Okay, so I have to use one of the hammers. I don't think there's any other way. Wait, let me, oh crap. See, that placed too soon. I do wish there's a little more time between when it decides to finish placing. I feel like there could just be some kind of a little buffer there. Let's just look for items, I guess. I do need to build tiles, so might as well build one here. Wait, what happened? Was that a bug? That didn't look right, placing that piece, and then piece just landed intact after it cleared a line. I don't think that was quite correct. Or there's some visual trick that was played on my eyes here, but yeah, I would take a look back at whatever just occurred there. Alright, so I can get this. I guess that's for HP. That apparently is what that's for. I would like to get these items, but I don't know if it's worth actually using this hammer. I don't feel like it is. Gosh, this round is a mess. Let's go ahead and try to wrap my head around stuff by just clearing tiles, I guess. That's gonna get rid of all of these nice crates. Oh boy, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just clearing lines, but oh, I didn't. I meant to rotate it and I placed it again. Gosh darn it. That's too bad. Well, that looks useful, but I can't get to it unless this is gonna use a lot of stuff. That's not gonna fit here well. Oh boy. So I can't get that yet. Oh, I can't rotate it. I can't rotate it. Okay. So there's definitely cases here where you just can't rotate the block, where I think you should be able to. In terms of like the Tetris rules. It's definitely pretty frustrating when it's like really important that you make that happen. Oh, the speed up. I'm really not in a good spot this time. And I don't know what to do about that, because you only get so much leeway with just clearing lines. I can't rotate it. Okay, now I can. I can't rotate it. I need to put that on the left and I can't rotate it. Oh no, okay, so this is obviously a fail. But as you can see, I had the perfect piece, but I couldn't rotate it to get in this space there, so I guess there's just some logic that That should probably be worked on there to get the rotation to work when you need it to. Let's go ahead and try one more time. Actually, should probably wrap this up. I think I've been playing a while, but yeah, I do wonder if there's some ways you can make it a little more unforgiving. There's just so many ways it can just not work out for you, and it's hard to just kind of get that feeling of control back. I want to pause this for a second. So, it's so hard to tell like what exactly should be tweaked here, but it does seem like there's just so many elements that it's like impossible to kind of account for everything when you're making decisions. Usually in like a puzzle game or strategy game or whatever, you know, you make decisions based on the information that's presented to you, and it's usually not the goal of the game to give you so much information that you can't make a good decision, you know. In this case, because of the amount of tension, it's really hard to account for everything, so you end up making decisions based on like incomplete information. It's not that the game is holding back information, there's just too much to work with in too small amount of time. So like, I think it seems like most of the time I'm kind of accounting for maybe half or 2/3 at most of the factors that I need to account for, which means that the other 50% or 1/3 of the factors in the game end up kind of screwing me over depending on like how lucky or not lucky I get. Like, it seems to be almost just kind of completely random whether it works out or not. So that's kind of seems to be the case of things, and I don't know how much a person's brain power is going to be able to overcome that with experience. I can't obviously play the game enough to really know what like the high level play is going to look like or whatever, but I don't know, maybe there's just maybe some tweaking in terms of even something like the amount of walls on the pieces or something. You might want to make a little more openings or something. Just to kind of tweak the balance of stuff. It's hard to say for sure, but I feel like there should be a little bit more of a give in terms of making things a little more forgiving somewhere. So it's just not quite overwhelming. Phew, I feel like I lost my train of thought past that point. So let's go ahead and go back to playing. Oh, so one thing I was going to mention is that I'm sorry to just ramble on, but kind of the one time where I feel like I'm mostly in control of the game is when I just kind of turn off the other parts of my brain and just kind of focus on the Tetris. Because then it's like, as long as I'm clearing lines, it's kind of like I'm keeping myself from failing, right? And that kind of feels good. It kind of feels like a break, you know, like I'm actually progressing and everything is not spiraling out of control while I'm doing this. As long as, you know, sometimes it kind of doesn't work out well if I screw things up or whatever, but that feels to me like the only time where I mostly feel in control. And unfortunately, I'm not really paying attention to the walls and stuff, because you can't really it doesn't seem like you can very well for the most part pay attention to where the walls are ending up, the walls and openings, when you're just focusing on clearing lines. So you end up kind of with a crappy sort of dungeon a lot of the time. But I think it's interesting and worth pointing out that that's kind of the point where I feel like I'm most in control of the game sometimes. So this is a very tricky sort of design to wrap your head around, like where to go next with everything. There's I don't know, maybe even just maybe there's just some one part of the one layer of complexity here that could just be removed outright or something, that would just kind of leave you with everything else that might kind of work out better. So this is just kind of an ugly piece. I don't like this piece. This is the bad piece you don't want to get, I believe. Yeah, that really screws everything. Like, I don't even mind the big U piece. I wonder, can you do the thing? Oh, crap. No, I don't think. Maybe if I waited. I wanted to make it go down faster, and it just placed it instantly, so that was one of the things that just doesn't exist here. Okay, this is bad, now that I think about it, but let's, I'm not gonna get like a long piece anytime soon, so, oh, that's not even gonna clear. I assume that would clear erroneously. Right, I don't think I'm gonna I don't think I'm gonna clear this one. Let's just check if this works. Yeah, that works. Okay, another awful piece. So I can do this, and me, I'm all the way at the bottom and trying to not die at the top with dumb Tetris stuff. Which is not, yeah, not with this piece. Oh boy, I can't even rotate this one. So that was kind of silly. I mean, obviously I was kind of babbling and not always paying the best attention, but even at this point, like just trying to Tetris for a little while, it ended up getting out of control. And part of the reason for that being the lack of like real Tetris pieces and these big crazy ones that just kind of screw you over. It's really interesting just how big of an impact that has on the game, because it makes it like I start to feel like the actual Tetrising starts to fall apart a little bit when you end up with these big wonky pieces that you just can't really deal with reasonably. It does get very RNG at that point, because like if you get a big wonky one, it's like okay, and you put it wherever, and then if you get enough of the kind of smaller pieces after that, then you can maybe deal with it. But if you get unlucky and then you just get kind of another wonky one, and then it's like everything just suddenly spirals out of control. So that really seems to be a big factor, which is kind of very, very random. So I wonder if that might be worth looking at again, just the actual pieces that you're working with. Anyways, yeah, we should probably wrap this up. It's very complex, and a lot of stuff is going to end up being down to just how good a person can get at stuff like this, which obviously I'm not going to be very good at it while I'm babbling and, you know, playing it for effectively the first time. But it's definitely stuff you can get better at, and I think there's stuff that is not technically out of your control, but not really feeling like it's really giving you much chance, you know, to really stay in control of everything. So I would suggest just very carefully considering some way to reduce the complexity of things as they are. I think there's ways that you can make things harder, or ways you probably want to make things harder, that are completely different from just these elements of complexity, like stuff like the enemies, like new enemies and little traps and stuff that you probably want to add in. But as it is, it's just so hard to deal with, just like the walls and the Tetris pieces sometimes, just the way things work out. Stuff like that it almost seems like you, I don't know, trying to add in more difficulty from something like enemies or something is kind of almost out of place. But I think if you manage to simplify things just the right amount, it'll feel better to not only to play in the beginning, but also when you try and add in new enemies and whatever else things. I think they're supposed to be bosses. I think that's going to turn out a little better. Phew, wow, that was a lot to try to wrap your head around. I'm pretty tired. I hope this video is somehow useful. It's definitely a puzzle of a game, so Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.